Mabuhay! Let's take a journey into the heart of the Philippine heritage. I am Joriel from TM5A and I will be presenting case studies of Vigan and Intramuros. A case study is a detailed investigation of a specific subject, such as a person, group, event, or organization within its real-life context. It is commonly used in the fields of education, business, psychology, and social sciences. A case study in tourism is focused on investigation of a destination, organization, or tourism initiative to understand its challenge, strategies, and impacts. It helps researchers and stakeholders analyze real-world examples such as sustainable tourism in Bali, heritage preservation in Intramuros, or ecotourism in New Zealand. These studies often explore how tourism affects local economies, cultures, and environments. They use interviews, data analyses, and field observations to uncover insights that can guide future planning and policy. I will now discuss Vigan, Ilocos Sur. Vigan is a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its unique blend of Asian and European architecture. It stands as one of the most intact examples of a Spanish colonial town in Southeast Asia. Before its recognition in 1999, Vigan faced political instability, economic decline, and deterioration of its historic core. Traditional industries were fading, and the city lacked resources to maintain its cultural assets. To address these issues, Vigan's leader implemented a strategic plan focused on civic pride, long-term conservation, global partnerships, and sustainable tourism. They restored ancestral homes, created educational materials, and even used local clay for street signs to reinforce cultural identity. The result was transformative. Vigan not only preserved its heritage, but also revitalized its economy and community spirit. Today, it serves as a global model for sustainable heritage tourism. Now, let's talk about Intramuros. Intramuros, Manila's historic walled city, was founded in 1571 as the heart of Spanish colonial governance. Its fortified walls, grid-planned streets, and iconic landmarks reflect a fusion of European military design and Filipino craftsmanship. By the mid-20th century, Intramuros had endured centuries of conflict. Most devastatingly, World War II bombings and post-war redevelopment encroached its heritage, leaving many structures in disrepair and local traditions at risk. In response, the Intramuros administration launched a comprehensive conservation efforts, reconstructing Casa Manila and Museo de Intramuros, implementing thematic interpretation, training for tour guides, upgrading pedestrian zones, and applying a tourist-friendly destination framework to ensure tourism supports rather than erodes community and cultural integrity. Today, Intramuros thrives as a living museum. Visitors' numbers and satisfaction have surged. Local artisans and guides enjoy sustainable incomes, and the district stands as a national cultural treasure, demonstrating how heritage preservation and tourism can flourish side by side. Another site worth noting in Luzon is the Cape Bojeador Lighthouse. Established in 1892 on Villa de Nagpartian Hill, serves as a vital navigational aid on Luzon's northwest coast. Its octagonal brick tower and bronze-crowned lantern reflect Spanish colonial engineering and enduring maritime heritage. Rising visitor numbers strain the site's fabric, leading to wear on original masonry and ironwork. Limited interpretive materials hinder audience engagement, while insufficient conservation funding and exposure to harsh coastal weather threaten structural integrity. The sustainable heritage tourism strategy that can provide here is to implement community-led guided tours that cap daily visitor numbers and rotate pathways to reduce erosion, develop digital interpretation tools such as augmented reality apps paired with on-site signage. Also reinforce conservation funding through a modest heritage entrance fee managed by local stakeholders. This strategy will protect the lighthouse's structural and aesthetic integrity, enrich visitor learning experiences, and generate sustainable revenue for preservation. Local communities gain livelihood opportunities, and the site's enhanced profile fosters deeper appreciation of the Philippine maritime history. Let these sites remind us that history lives not in textbook, but in the stones, stories, and spirit of our community.
Mabuhay! I'm Sophia Lorvas Terrace, and let's continue for case study 3, Banaue Rice Terraces, Philippines. The organic farming campaign, which is ongoing since 2009, promotes GMO-free cultivation. The Ifugao Youth Capacity Building and Exchange programs, which connects younger generations to heritage farming. The Banaue Rice Terraces, carved by the Ifugao people over 2,000 years ago, are an extraordinary example of indigenous agricultural, engineering, and cultural heritage. Spanning over 10,000 square kilometers, they use an ancient irrigation system and traditional farming methods passed down through generations. Challenges include environmental degradation from deforestation, erosion, climate change, and pests. Youth migration to cities threatens the transfer of indigenous knowledge. Tourism brings economic benefit but also environmental pressures if unmanaged. Sustainable tourism efforts focus on community-based programs integrating traditional farming with visitor management. These initiatives promote local crafts, empower the community, and emphasize organic farming to maintain environmental health. Restoration projects are underway through public-private partnerships, preserving both the terraces and cultural values. Tourism income now supports ongoing restoration, helps sustain traditional farming, and keeps this living heritage landscape thriving. Now for case study 4, Angkor Wat, Cambodia. The Apsara National Authority Management Plan, which means the authority for the protection and safeguarding of Angkor and the region of Angkor. Angkor Wat is the world's largest religious monument and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, built in the 12th century. It reflects Khmer architectural brilliance and spirituality managed within a broader cultural ecosystem. Key challenges include over-tourism leading to physical damage, erosion, pollution, and threats from looting. Urban development around Siam Reef also pressures the site. Key sustainable strategies involve protective infrastructure, visitor education, community-based tourism, and careful resource management led by Apsara Authority in partnership with international teams. Post-pandemic approaches use digital tools and off-peak tourism to balance conservation with tourism benefit. This integrated model preserves Angkor's outstanding heritage value while supporting local livelihoods and Cambodia's economy. Now, let's move on the examples from Visayas. So we have Iloilo City in the Philippines. The restoration and adaptive reuse of heritage zones, community tourism, and heritage awareness programs. Iloilo City is rich in cultural heritage sites like Calle Real and Miyagaw Church. Tourist interest is high due to the historical architecture and vibrant cultural festivals. Challenges are deterioration of heritage buildings and gaps in preservation and awareness. Sustainable tourism uses restoration and adaptive reuse of historical structures, boosts community involvement, and highlights cultural events to enhance tourist experience. These efforts grow tourism, support local economies, and balance heritage preservation with modern development. Next example is in Bohol, the mangrove reforestation and coastal resource management programs in Cogtong Bay. the Community Resource Enforcement and Artificial Reef Establishment Initiative. Kugtong Bay Bohol, a community-based program, protects mangroves and marine life threatened by illegal fish ponds and deforestation. This approach conserves biodiversity, empowers locals, and develops heritage-linked ecotourism as an economic and environmental success.
Hello everyone, mabuhay. I am Malena Gilmarangit from TM5A. In the Andes Mountains of Peru, Machu Picchu, a 15th century Incan citadel and UNESCO World Heritage Site, stand as one of the most iconic archaeological treasures in the world. The sustainable management strategy includes visitor caps, time entry system, controlled trekking routes, and community-based tourism programs to reduce environmental damage and protect cultural heritage. The approach supports the conservation of the site, protection of its cultural value, empowerment of local communities, and promotion of sustainable heritage tourism as a global movement. Located in Davao Oriental, Mindanao, the Mount Hamikitang Range Wildlife Sanctuary, recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserve diverse mountain habitats and endangered species such as Philippine eagle and unique nature plants. Its sustainable tourism strategy emphasizes protected area zoning, community-based management, ecotourism initiatives, and training for local guides to maintain balance between conservation and tourism. This model contributes to the protection of endemic wildlife, active involvement of local and indigenous groups, stronger conservation policies, and the promotion of ecotourism as a tool for both environmental preservation and community development. In Lanao del Sur, Mindanao, the Torogan houses serve as the traditional dwellings of Maranao nobility, showcasing distinctive craftsmanship through ornate wood carvings and the symbolic panel beams. In Lanao del Sur, the sustainable approach highlights restoration initiatives, heritage tourism development, skill preservation among local artisans, and efforts towards UNESCO World Heritage inscription supported by cultural agencies and government partners. This strategy contributes to the conservation of Maranao cultural identity, community empowerment, promotion of cultural tourism, and transmission of traditional knowledge to future generations. The case studies of Vigan, Intramuros, Banaue rice terraces, Angkor, and Machu Picchu highlight that heritage protection depends on balancing preservation with responsible tourism. Effective governance, community participants, and cultural sensitive developments are essential through sustainable tourism. These sites maintain their heritage significance while improving local economies and gaining international recognition.